Welcome to this special session where we have been blessed with the presence of Dr. Agnes Ameyaa. Dr. Agnes Ameyaa is the wife of our late brother, Paul Yeboah, who passed on, I think it's 2 years now. And just to say, it was very interesting at the time that we started thinking about getting into land restoration discussions for our continent. He shared about the work that they were doing. And unfortunately, his time on this earth came to an end before we started on this program. So just a few weeks ago, when we got the confirmation that Common Land, Presencing Institute and ourselves were going to receive the funding to do this program, I still had Paul Yeboah's number in my phone. And I just thought, let me just reach out to this number. And yes, Agnes answered and said, I'm the wife and I'm the one who's now running the institute, the Ghana Permaculture Institute. And then I said, well, if you are running this, we are starting this program, we would love to learn more from you. And she graciously accepted. And that's how we invited her to come and share with us what they're doing. So Dr. Agnes Ameyaa is going to delve more into the topic of land restoration, share with us what they are doing. And we hope this will be an interactive discussion, because I know that some of you are already also delving into this, like Linda. We're starting to do some work already into this. So this is really for us to learn from each other and to start preparing ourselves as to how can we maximize this opportunity that has come. And I think, as Sharon has mentioned, as some of you came much earlier, we will not have this program across the whole continent. It will be in 3 regions. But we want to see how can we, those regions that are not going to be involved, how can they also be part of this? How can they also benefit from this learning? So before I invite Dr. Agnes Ameyaa to speak, maybe we can hear a few voices from some of you on what draws you to land restoration. You were in the groups sharing, so maybe we can hear 2 to 3 voices, and then we'll invite Dr. Agnes Ameyaa to share what she has for us today.
Hi, Martin. Hi, everybody. Good evening, everybody. So what draws me to land restoration? I'm extremely passionate about the land and working with the land. I get a fix from touching the soil, as it were. Of course, land regeneration, reclamation, rehabilitation, restoration are some of the biggest things that are happening across the world as we continue to experience the drastic effects of climate change. And I come in this evening curious to hear how it is happening in a different part of the continent, what is working for them, what isn't working, and just to find out how it is being done at that end. So that's what draws me into this class today. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Yes, Rachel.
Good evening, special people. So just very briefly, without the land feels like the heart of the world. And I learned this just before lockdown, when we prepared a huge amount of land in rural South Africa. And we really nurtured and prepared the soil. We spent a huge amount of time, maybe 3 months, preparing the soil and the swales in order to grow nutrient-dense organic food, a huge, like a rugby field size. And then lockdown happened and nobody could go out here in South Africa. So we didn't know what to do. So we left it. And after 2 months, a whole village started eating nutrient-dense food. The soil grew the food. And we, as humans, didn't have to do anything. So that, for me, is a beautiful story around, if we really nurture the land and the soil, the rest will follow. Everything will follow. It's like the heart of the world. So we've forgotten really how to look after and tend the soil. That's my check-in. So I'm passionately here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. And I remember the conversations would at times have when you started that work in Eastern Cape, that this work should spread across the continent. And so having this discussion today gives me hope that it will spread across the continent. Thank you. One more last voice before I invite Dr. Agnes Ameyaa to share.
Sorry that I'm not able to put my webcam.
That's fine, we can hear your voice.
Yeah, agree with everything that has been said earlier, but also having a particular interest in this topic because, as you know, on behalf of PI, we will be running this program, Common Land Together. So the more I know about the topic, the better. So I'm here to learn. Special interest in this topic.
Thank you, Grace. Dr. Ameyaa, just before I invite you to share with us what you have prepared, just wanted to let you know that you are going to be interacting with the Ubuntu.Lab family. We have our brothers and sisters across the continent. As I said, we have heard a voice from East Africa, West Africa, and Southern Africa as well. So the time that we began this program, when your husband was also part of us, we came together as change makers on the continent, looking at how can we collectively co-create Africa's future. So this program of land restoration that we are going to be embarking on in September is one of the ways that we think we can co-create Africa's future. And from the voices we have just heard from our sisters here, the soil is so important to us. And we are really looking forward to learning from your experience and getting some encouragement as well from you as to how best we can even run faster than the time that you began as well in Ghana. So it's now over to you, Dr. Agnes Ameyaa.
Thank you, Sisi. I'm Agnes Ameyaa, as you say, a husband of Dr. Paul Yeboah. In fact, we were doing marvelous work on our land. He was the expert. So once he passed away, I decided to continue the work, good work he was doing, so that the people in this continent will also have positive impacts on our land and to get some good food to eat from our soil. So I decided to continue everything. So you said I should come and give a presentation on how to restore a depleted and degradable soil. So this is a presentation by Dr. Agnes Ameyaa on how to restore a depleted and degraded land. We all know that this soil, this our soil that we are now using to plant our crops, the way people farm has been made it to be destroyed by applying chemicals and fertilizers. So in Ghana Permaculture, we've decided to restore land, because even if you go to our land, you come to Ghana Permaculture Institute, you see that our land is destroyed by because it was rocky. They were winning gravels on the land to do road construction. So it made it to destroy it. So today we are going to look at how a land that has been destroyed can be restored. At first, before you can restore your land, you have to go to the land and assess the land. What made it destroyed, or how long has it been destroyed? So by knowing that, you have to also look at what made it destroyed, like soil erosion, like overgrazing, bad agri farming principles. You look at all these, and also you have to consider the climate, the rain in the soil, whether it is too much rain or little rain in the soil. You have to consider that one. You have to also consider the soil, whether it is high or slopey or low. You consider all these. You have to also consider the type of soil, whether it is loamy, clayey, or stone. In GPI, as I said, our land was rocky, stony, but now we have been able to restore it. So you have to look at all these things. And after assessing the land to know that what made it destroyed, you have to rehabilitate it. For that, you know that you improve the soil with farm practices like soil, you plant some plants, cover crops. You also apply organic matter. You also apply composting, mulching, control plowing, and all these, so that the land can be restored. Looking at these practices, you can see that we've mulched the land. This is at the sites of permaculture. We use mulching, we design some, we add some charcoal to do mulching, moringa cake, sawdust. We put them on the soil so that the soil can change from the rocky stage to fertile stage. So all these things can help to restore the land. Okay, looking at the permaculture children, all these children are in our sites. They are also doing their best to apply moringa powder and the cake on the ground, the surface of the land, so that the land can be changed. We are saying that we have to make vegetation restoration on the land as well. We have to plant some cover crops or some trees. When you are planting the trees, you have to plant the indigenous tree. You have to consider that one too, the indigenous one. In Ghana here, we have Wawa, Udum, Sapele, and Moringa too is included. Yes, because Moringa can fertile a land best. You can plant on it and you cut the leaves on the ground and it will change the land to be fertile. So you have to plant some trees on your land so that the land can change from the depleted or degradable to fertile land. And you have to consider the water, what in your soil. You have to manage the water. If you don't have water on your land, you have to make a plan to get water at your side. At GPR, as I said, because it was rocky, we were not having water. We did a borehole, but it was difficult for us. We did it several times, and later we got it. But aside the borehole, we also have rainwater harvesting, as you can see from the picture. We harvest rain for our farming system, or we harvest it for our animals. We can use it for washing, and if we put it in porridge tanks, we can even use it for cooking and the rest. And the water, the borehole, we use it for drinking. So when you have a land and you want to improve it, you have to consider the water system on the land. You can also use swales and dams. You check it. We have them all on our land. All this method can give you water. Okay. Whilst you are doing your, considering your soil and making practices that can help the soil be fertile by mulching, composting, planting cover crops, and you plant your crops, you have water on your land, you have to get somebody who will monitor what you are doing for you. If you can do it yourself, perfect. If you can't do it, you have to get an expert. Sometimes you come to your field and look at your farming system, the practices that you are using, to see whether it is perfect or you have to change your method. You have to get somebody to monitor it for you. Sometimes you have to do community engage. You have to engage community people in your farming system by giving them training on what you have heard, what you are engaging yourself in. You have to include the community members as well, and you give them training so that they will also go and do the same, so that the soil in your country or your area will be improved, and the soil will not be degraded, and they will be improved. Okay, so you invite community members as well. Then you collaborate with experts and organizations. You seek support and collaborate with local environment agencies, that's research institutes. You can consult them and they will come and observe what you are doing, and if they have an advice, they can give it to you, and they can even send your message to other people. So that is also important. You have to engage other people to come and observe what you are doing. That's the experts. If they had an advice, they will give it to you. And learn from success people. That's success. You can learn from us, you can learn from other people, so that you can also take their advice to your field, and yours will be also the best. What I want to tell you is, if you want to restore a degraded land, it's not an easy or shortest time that you can use to restore. It will take a longer period. Sometimes it can be years. We started ours about 10 years ago, but so some part of the land is still rocky. We are still applying the composting and the mulching and other farm practices that can help. So it's not an easy task. So if you want to restore your degraded land, you have to take time. You have to take time so that you can do it. You learn from other people. You can also do yours as we have done ours. So this is the GPI site now. When we started, it was bare. There was no plants. As I said, it was rocky, but with our principles, permaculture principles, we have come to this stage. Now the land is green. We have water on our land. We have trees, we have crops, vegetables. If you come there, you feel like you are at home. So this is our site now. I'm saying thank you for you all to join me on this presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ameyaa. This is so inspiring. I mean, we are learning from how you started, as you said, starting with assessing the soil and knowing how exactly you can start restoring it. And what you have said at the end, that it's not an easy thing, it takes long. And I'm just already wondering as to the program we are going to start on, how long will it take us in those pieces of land that we will choose? But at the same time, I got very encouraged when you were saying we could start, and it may be that each one of us in the Ubuntu community can start thinking about how do we start. But just for us to have much more time to reflect and get what the insights are from your sharing, we're going to go into small breakaway groups for about 15 minutes. And the question for the breakaway is, what key insights, questions came up for you during Dr. Ameya's presentation? So we are inviting you to discuss in your groups what came up for you as insights, questions, and we'll come back with those key insights and questions, and then we will continue our conversation with Dr. Ameyaa. So, hey, welcome back, everyone. So we'll now take this time just to hear from you, your reflections in your groups on the insights and also the questions that you may have for our guests. So you can either raise your hand or you can just unmute and go for it.
Thank you for inspiring us with such clear work arising out of commitment. It was phenomenal to see the end picture there of what has been restored. Some of the questions I have include, one, how do you sustain the interest, the energy of the communities you are working with when at the same time they have immediate needs to put food on the table, to earn income to take children to school, and to attend to many other daily needs. Your work shows a 10-year lifespan to begin to see the beauty that we saw. How did you sustain their interest? What could there have been, like my friends in the group were saying, in short-term benefits across the way? Where did the resources to do this work come from? Let me stop there for now.
Our work is an NGO, so sometimes we had funds from other organizations. They help us, and we also added an enterprise. Since it's an NGO, we added an enterprise where the enterprise produced some cosmetics and we sell. So when we sell, we get some amount of money to sustain the business. Also helping us a lot, we sell the moringa leaves, we get oil from the seeds, and we use the leaves for cosmetics. So that helped us to sustain the business up to now. We even have mushroom. We produce mushrooms for sale. So it's also helping us a lot. The farm people help us. We use it to train people, and they also go and do what we are doing, like plant moringa. And if they bring the moringa leaves, we buy. And they also get a little amount of money for their family. And so that they can get something on the table for the family.
That's helpful, because you are indicating that the process of restoration could also attend to the immediate needs of the communities around.
Yeah.
Growing mushroom.
Yes.
Using the moringa to produce income. No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And also I'm hearing Dr. Ameyaa say some of those skills that they also learn, they go and start growing the stuff that they have learned about, and then the Institute buys from them. So they have a ready market for the products that they are producing.
Yes.
Okay, no, thank you so much. More questions and insights, my dear brothers and sisters?
Yeah, we had some very interesting discussions in our group. One of them, Martin has already touched upon, was how it takes such a long time for this land restoration to begin to take place, but really reflecting on the importance of it, because we've seen the harmful effects of using chemicals on the land, and it seeps into the water, and it ultimately affects even the output. Just reflecting on the negative impacts and effects of using chemicals on the land, and it seeps into the water and ultimately affects the food production. So one of the questions was how to, because we've seen such a huge population increase and an increase on the demand of food security, if we're turning away from, chemicals and pesticides and these sort of things that have in times gone by given a big yield, and now we're seeing the negative impacts of it, how do we then at the same time, while we're stopping the use of chemicals and wanting to nurture the soil using some of the methods that the doctor shared with us, so composting and using biodynamic farming and things like that, when we know that it's a gradual restoration of the land and a gradual increase of food security, how do we then balance with that population growth and more people needing more food, but really just appreciating the need for this shift and going back to seed banking, going back to some of these more wholesome and nurturing methods that our ancestors used to practice in years gone by, before the global corporations came in and brought fertilizers and things like that.
Okay, per our topic, it is saying that how can we restore a degradable land? So if you are still using the chemicals, the fertilizers and the insecticide and pesticide and the rest, you are still destroying the land. So if you want to restore it, then you have to use organic farming system before you can restore it. Yeah. So the more we do, we can, with this, you can do it in large quantity. You can, as I said, you plow and you plant your cover crops. You can plant, you can do it in large quantity. The moringa, as we use moringa cake, it serves as fertilizer. So you can spread it on your field and you plant. You can do it in large quantity.
I think the other part of the question was with the growing population. How do we balance the shifting of going more organic and the population is growing at a fast rate?
That's why I'm saying that in organic way, we can do it in large quantity. Yeah, and we have to train more people to also do it so that they can get it to feed their family. Yeah. If we continue using the chemicals, plowing and other things, we will still destroy the land, and it will get to the time that we can't plant any crop on the land. So with education, people can still do it with organic system.
Thank you. And I think the other thing that Dr. Ameyaa shared with Sharon and Tobeka while we were in that small group is that actually you could start encouraging almost the whole population of a country to go organic, that they could, even those who don't have pieces of land can start growing things in tins, even in their old shoes. So we can try and encourage everyone to go organic. I think that's what she said as well. Back to you, Dr. Ameyaa, just to have some concluding remarks from you. I mean, you've answered some of the questions already. What words of encouragement, advice, and anything else you'd like to share with us now? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The advice I want to give is to farm organically or to restore a land in an organic way. It's not easy, as I said. So we have to gather courage and determination. We can do it. So as I am doing it, you are doing it, everybody is doing it. We can get food for the population in the world. So we shouldn't be discouraged. We should encourage ourselves and do it so that we can get good food for our family, for people in the world. And as I always tell women, that women should have something to do for themselves. That is why we always train women on what we are doing so that they won't depend upon their husband and the government all the time. So women, we should back up and do something to help our family, our children. If our husband couldn't provide, we can also help them to provide for our children. So this is the advice I want to give to all people and all women especially. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that advice and the encouragement that you have given us. I feel so inspired, and I'm sure all my colleagues here feel inspired too. And somehow today I'm wishing our late sister Letta would be with us. Her dream of having something happening from Cape to Cairo, I think would have been through this program we're going to go on. And I think we will definitely honor her wish through the learning that we have acquired from you today. And we hope that your doors will remain open as we get on this journey and we knock for more learning from you. So thank you so much. Somehow I also would like to invite ourselves to your institute. That could you host us? We come and learn. It's different at times when you come and you touch and you see and feel what is going on at that institute. So thank you so much, Dr. Agnes Ameyaa. The next thing is just for us to share with you that the next masterclass is going to be on 9th August, the same time. And it will be a follow-up on the AI that Dr. Frida Banda shared with us. And we will be following this up, I think, with other guests as well that are going to join us. So to end, we are inviting you to put in the chat what has come alive for you from our time together this evening. What has come alive for you for our time together this evening? So James from Malawi, inspired. Sharon from South Africa, the possibility of Cape to Cairo, our land is our wealth. Misha, Zimbabwe, I don't need a whole big piece of land. I can respond to a small garden patch and that plays my part. Sharon, South Africa, creating dignity as people grow food and sustain themselves. Martin, sitting in the UK, the whole continent can turn organic in food consumption. Everyone can do something. Rachel in South Africa, start small. Eugene in Zambia, desire to restore our souls, our life depends on good soil. Tobeka in South Africa, start, no matter the size. Denise in Brazil, hope and inspiration to restore lands to feed the world. Mubarak, it's possible to make a significant change. And Banman, so motivated and happy that organic farming can work and perform wonders. Erica, restore a land to save a life. When the last tree dies, the last man also dies. Kay and Jessica, inspired by Eric Eboa in our group, that one tree planted by a child makes a difference. So thank you so much. Before we go, Denise today was scribing for us. So we are just going to see Denise's scribing, and then we will unmute and say our goodbyes.
I shared it in our WhatsApp group, but if you play it from there, but I also can play it from here.
Thank you so much, Denise. Thank you. So as we always do, we can all unmute and say our goodbye in our own language. And those of you who are not on camera, if it's possible, you just turn on your cameras. That would be fantastic to see your faces.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, baby.
Lale salama.
Good night. Lisa
Good night.
Thank you, Dr. Ameyaa. Thank you.
Citizens.
Masalomo. Usiku wa bwino.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Asante sana.